As inflation soars to a 40-year high, food banks are scrambling to find affordable options for those in need. The CEO of Second Harvest Food Bank explains how price increases are impacting their ability to provide food. All right, so what's everything that we're looking at right now?
So you've got a variety of things here. So this is interesting. About 25% of our food in normal times comes from USDA, and that food goes to the school system first and then to the emergency feeding system after that, and that's us. So about 25% of our food will come from USDA, 75% comes from private sources.
You were mentioning talking about donations and things like that coming from Walmart, but
yes,
some of the stuff you actually do have to buy.
We do, and increasingly we have to buy more food, because if you think about COVID and you think about supply chain disruptions and you think about what the shelves of grocery stores look like, then you know what happened to our donations. They started to disappear. So we needed to buy more food, and unfortunately a lot of those vendors were charging a lot more for the food that they had because of the supply chain issues all of us are experiencing now. Every time we go to a grocery store and we're paying 10% more for everything we buy in that grocery store, that's impacting everything we do at Second Harvest too.
So inflation really is a big deal for you guys, and
it's an incredibly big deal. Again, in normal times, almost 400,000 people in South Louisiana, the 23 parishes we serve, are food insecure. That amount went up by 20 to 25% over COVID. We're still seeing a 5 to 10% increase, or 20,000 more people every month come in. And in many cases, these are middle-class families that were making it and suddenly are not making it.
So, I mean, you're mentioning things like COVID. And 4 hurricanes in 2 years, that's going to make needs shoot up, because when there's anything that affects the economy, obviously that's going to affect the way people eat. But have you seen anything like this before? Because now people are thinking about 2008. Is this similar?
It is. It's similar in many ways because it affects so many middle-class families. When you get a recession type of situation, then people who were making it before just about are suddenly not. So it's a different kind of need. You know, it's people that are coming to us saying, I never thought I would ever have to come to a food bank before. So you see need change at that end. But what makes it so much worse right now is that we've had these back-to-back situations. So in many parts of our service area, home at Thibodaux, even in parts of New Orleans, people are recovering from Ida. In Lake Charles, you've got Hurricane Laura. The community hasn't come back from that. So when you layer hurricane damage on top of COVID, where people lost their jobs for a significant period of time, and now you get a recession, so there's no savings, right? So, and now suddenly, at a period of time where people thought the economy is going to come back, I'm going to be able to go back to work, I can replenish the savings that I depleted over COVID, suddenly that opportunity is taken away. So I think it's these things coming on top of each other that's making this an especially frightening time for people.
Right. Whenever things are plentiful, people give more, and in situations where it's a little tough, people give less. I mean, do you think that soon people will start giving you less?
You know, I feel very fortunate to do what I've done for so many years, because I get to see the most generous side of people all the time. So I can tell you what happens. When people get into trouble, people rush in to help. So when a hurricane hits, when COVID hits, we normally have people saying, what can I do for you? Can I come and volunteer? All those hospitality industry people were saying, can I come and volunteer in your kitchen? I don't have a job right now, but I want to help other people. So that will last for a while. If a recession lasts a long period of time, like it did in 2008, suddenly people are helping, they're helping, but they're out of resources themselves. They can no longer help. So the longer this stretches on, the more worried we get that people's needs are going to stay really heightened, but people's ability to give and to help us is not going to be as great as it was.
So besides the obvious, which is donating food, how can people help out?
Well, we totally rely on our volunteers. More than 10,000 people come here every year and help us prepare meals, repack boxes, and that, by the way, can happen at our food banks throughout the state of Louisiana.
Wow, so you see a lot of people doing great things up close.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the best parts of what I get to do is I see the best of people while we try to alleviate people's suffering.